Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here, and I am back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today. It's gonna be a Protoss versus Zerg on the map Grezvin, the AI edition, but more importantly, it is going to be a bot versus bot match. And so, we've got the mouthful bot, PerilousProtossBot. Say that 3 times fast. And then in the top left, a frequent flyer in these videos and an awesome Zerg bot. It is Ender. So big thanks to the bot author that sent in this replay for us to enjoy. Should be a fun one. Already seeing a bit of chat tags there saying 1 base L to R. I'm not sure what the L to R means, but I definitely understand what 1 base means. So, we shall see as the PerilousProtossBot playing Protoss, which I think is my favorite bots to watch. Just because it's interesting to see how the bot authors approach programming a Protoss bot. And so, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this video, make sure to go ahead, take a look at that like bar, there's no bar anymore, I guess. Take a look at that like button, slap it, add 1 more like to it. Let's go for 40 likes on this video, and then leave a comment down below saying more bots, of course. As the more you guys do that, the more bot games I shall cast. And so, let's see where this game is heading. We've got that 1 base opening from Ender. Then the PerilousProtossBot is going to be building up here a little bit. Okay, a Zealot on the way, a second Gateway on the way for the PerilousProtossBot. And yeah, then just a hatchery on the way for Ender. A very interestingly located hatchery. I wonder if this is something that the bot author does to try and mess with other bots scouting potentially. For the PPB, we've got Zealots being produced, a Forge on the way, interestingly enough. The Zealots are not walling yet, but 3 Zealots should be more than enough, I imagine, to deal with this rush anyway. But, I mean, it is looking to be 14 Zerglings out already, so it's not just a small amount of Zerglings from Ender. This 1 Ling is hanging out at the natural. The rest of the Lings are rallying out. We've got Speed about to finish up, so the PPB does have to be careful. However, it is making 2 Zealots at a time, and it's got a Photon Cannon on the way. This is all off of 0 scouting, by the way, which I'll say is definitely something. And then another cannon, actually. So I'm wondering how the PPB knew that this was coming, or if this is just the usual behavior from the PerilousProtossBot. Zealots are now retreating to the main base, dealing with these Lings. It's a bit of a scrap. A cannon is about to finish up, so I think that will really turn things around for these Zealoty boys. Looks like, yeah, all those Lings are going to get cleaned on up. The PerilousProtossBot saying it's all in the reflexes. Like, that is almost a hard counter by the PerilousProtossBot. I wonder if it does that every game. Is that just its usual strategy, 2 cannons? Or, like, I doubt this. Like, I don't know. Is it actually possible that a bot author, if they wanted to, could snipe Ender by Ender saying, by Ender's opening statement saying, what did it say? Hold on. Said, 1 base L to R, although it said that in allied chat, so of course there's no way for it to know. So the PerilousProtossBot just having an interesting method there for opening up, but it worked and it defended that early aggression, so clearly a good strategy. Now, it's going to be another challenge for the PerilousProtossBot here, however, as Ender's going to that burrowed roach, and that is a big test for these bots, as if you play against one of these Zerg bots, or you program a bot to play against one of these Zerg bots, you will probably have to deal with endlessly burrowing roaches. Now, Ender is starting to make 7 of those roaches. There's no lair, so it's not like this is going to be tunneling clawed roach yet, but the PerilousProtossBot will very much need a robo to be out soon. Now, the main base should be safe from roaches going up it and burrowing with these 2 cannons, but anything more, and the PPB is going to need Gonna need something to deal with these roaches. Now, probe is gonna be moving down to that natural, potentially gonna be throwing up a Nexus, a very late expansion, but in bot matches, the rules are a little bit different. We do have a robo on the way, so the potential for an observer, and let's see. +1 attacks on the way as well, making use of that forge. Gonna really upgrade these units, but still gonna be a bit scary. A lot of roaches are out for Ender, 11 in total, 6 more on the way. This is about as roach rushy as you can get. And Ender, with its interesting hatchery position, should get here fairly quickly when it crosses the map. And then, yeah, I do still find that hatchery interesting. We see Ender saying skipping attack, transitioning to 3 bases. So we, of course, know that that is going to be the case now, that Ender shall be completely safe. Or, well, the PPB shall be safe from attack. And observers on the way. There's already one burrowed roach that ran forward and just immediately stuck its head in the sand. Good call by that roach. However, it does perish as it takes a lot of heat and did not burrow in time. Now, 2 batteries are on the way for the PerilousProtossBot. Very interesting battery positioning. I will say, that is some oddball battery placement. Nothing at the natural that it just took. It says, no, I want these batteries here by my production. And as we see, that Nexus is on the way up. So, I mean, the economies aren't too far from each other. Ender is at 40 drones, which is nice for it. And it did say transitioning to 3 bases, so we should see that 3rd going up soon. So far, it's still skipping its natural, it looks like. And Warp Prism is now on the way for the PerilousProtossBot as it adds yet another shield battery. Is this some next level big brain bot play? What's the acronym for that? Big brain, a BBBP by the PPB. So let's take a look here. We've got these stalkers going to be shooting down one of those overlords. That +1 attack is done for the PerilousProtossBot. Going to be killing off another overlord. Looks like Ender's making a lot of lings. I'm curious to see if it will harass with these, and if so, how well will they do. But it looks like the PerilousProtossBot is going to just be sitting back at home for now, as it does throw up a 3rd base. Roach tries to burrow, but gets gunned down. Even if it burrowed, there's an observer there. So those lings getting pushed away, roaches getting pushed away. Shields are on the way for the PerilousProtossBot, interestingly enough. It does have a battery now that it's natural, so at least it's got that. It's not just relying on ones in its main base next to its production. And Immortal's on the way. Both bots spending their money pretty darn well, which is good to see. We sometimes see these StarCraft 2 bots struggle to spend efficiently, but nope, these boys are doing a great job of that. That ling is going to burrow, but there's an observer right on top of them, so they will perish. Twilight Council on the way for the PerilousProtossBot. Ender getting up static defense, stuff like that. And yeah, there's going to be 3 base against 3 base, which in theory is not bad for the PerilousProtossBot. Ender saying skipping attack, which I love to see. Those chat tags makes my life as a commentator a lot easier. Ravagers on the way, more static defense going on up. Yeah, the fact that there's no lair for Ender yet it's very delayed. No upgrades yet either, so the PerilousProtossBot a bit ahead in tech. It's getting up a Robo Bay as well, so just getting that plethora of Protoss stuff. And I love to see it. I love to see these ProtossBots develop, see how they engage, see what sort of composition the bot makes and how well it actually works. We've got Blink now on the way for the PerilousProtossBot. And Ender, yeah, just churning out a bunch of drones. Still yet to start that 4th hatchery. It looks like this ling is potentially blocking it. It's gonna go up. No, it's gonna go mine. That's interesting. Okay, bye. Oh, that's because it built a base here. How about that? And so now we see Ender just going up to those 4 bases. PerilousProtossBot trying to take a 4th base, it looks like. However, that probe is going to get chased away, so the PPB is going to have to react to that. Ender's lings starting to work away on some of these probes. The probes are just going to run away, but not too successfully. We'll see if anything's going to deal with that. Looks like a Zealot's coming on home to try and save the day. Ling will burrow, though, and potentially keep being a pain. The PerilousProtossBot will have to kill off some sort of burrowed unit, presumably, before it takes its next base. Prism flies on over, gets gunned down. That's not a good start. Was it full of anything? I don't think so. Maybe some zealots, but didn't look like it. Couple stalkers coming on down here. Overlord's getting worked on, but there needs to be an observer here so this base can actually be taken by the PerilousProtossBot. Immortals are on the way, even though that robo-base done, so we'll see if we're going to get a Colossus after that. Infestation Pit's now on the way for Ender. And this is just a very macro-oriented game, but that might be changing. Ender did not say skip an attack this time, but oh my gosh, that Disruptor hit! The PerilousProtossBot surely knows how to use disruptors, as it just deleted Ender's hopes and dreams right there. Oh my gosh, that was the most disgusting disruptor control I've ever seen from a bot. Oh my gosh, Ender did not see that one coming. We've got units, interestingly enough, backing up for the PerilousProtossBot. It definitely has the stuff to defend this attack now. 6, 7 Swarm Hosts are on the way for Ender, so it's going to be making use of those. The PerilousProtossBot not really reacting to this attack too darn well, but after that Disruptor hit, it became much, much easier. The PerilousProtossBot moving out with some of its units now, however. It's got a decent army supply for a ProtossBot. There's random burrowed Banelings for Ender. I wonder if those are going to get used, and they actually do cool enough, but not necessarily the best against Protoss when it's just one burrowed Baneling. Now, PerilousProtossBot has yet to be able to take a 4th base. These Overlords are continuously being a pain, as now the Swarm Host count is growing for Ender. So we saw this strategy in the last video. It was a Swarm Host rush, so this one's a little bit different. But Swarm Host could very well be just as effective against against AI, like in the previous videos. Yeah, those Stalkers are going to be getting worked on and chased away. However, they do not know not to engage the Locust when possible. Cool strategy by Ender here. And this is actually just a great move by the Red Zerg. More and more Swarm Hosts are on the way. The Zerg is just Zerging with a massive economy. Yeah, Protoss units starting to engage those Locusts. That is not a good look. We see a few of these units now moving over towards the right-hand side of the map. What does Ender have? Really just Swarm Host for the most part, so it is going to depend on how well it utilizes these, how it does in this game, but as far as tech goes, it's looking pretty darn good for Ender. As, yeah, more and more Locusts coming on out. I don't know how the PerilousProtossBot's going to defend this. If it tries to defend it, it will be screwed. And if a bot, you know, just decides to fight the Locust, it's not going to go too well. So this is one of those things that Ender's strategy here is really going to be abusing the lack of development from opponent bots, it seems, when it comes to dealing with Locust. As it's something that you need a very specified response to in Starcraft 2. And so the PerilousProtossBot losing its 3rd. It did get a 4th base on the way, but its economy has taken a big hit. Presumably these Locusts going to be popping out of these Swarm Hosts again soon. And so while the PerilousProtossBot got a big Disruptor hit, it's going to need some more or something like that, or some miscontrol by Ender potentially. All these Locusts dropping, they're going all over the place. Looks like the 4th base was spotted. We see Ender saying advancing to endgame. So we've got a Spire on the way now. I wonder if there's a Hive out already. There is indeed a Hive, so it's really got all the tech that it could possibly want. We see an Overlord flying over. I think that must have had Queens in it, but that gets gunned down, so that wasn't too useful. But still, things are not looking too good for the PerilousProtossBot. It's not really mining at its 3rd base too much. Its main base is starting to mine out. Its natural will start to mine out. PerilousProtossBot saying ride for ruin and the world's ending. So that's an emotional statement right there. And we do see Swarm Host now starting to glitch forward a little bit for Ender. So 3 are going to go down, but if Ender just keeps replacing these, that may be all that it needs. But so far, the PerilousProtossBot not falling to pieces. Army supply staying stable, so it's at least able to keep that going. Killing off those Swarm Hosts was a big deal. It's got this attack pushing towards its 3rd, however, so it's going to have a hard time cleaning this up. And if it does lose this base, that will be a large setback. So can the Stalker and Sentry defend it? I do not know. There's only 2 Ravagers attacking it now. Okay, let's take a look here. Fourth base still being defended. PerilousProtossBot just throwing out all the Lord of the Rings quotes as it cleans that up, but Locust still tossing out more and more Locust. Or Swarmhost tossing out more and more Locust. Like they're free or something. And now we see these Protoss units engage in the Locust. That's not going to go too well for the bot that's actually spending the resources. So resources lost should, in theory, be getting better and better for Ender as this game goes on. I mean, the PerilousProtossBot has managed to keep that third base alive. So its economy is not terrible. It's definitely not great, as Ender is securing pretty much the entire map, transitioning to endgame for the second time, apparently. And also calling when it's going to attack. I'll attack at 1547. And Archon, some Stalkers moving forward. Archon gets neural parasited. Stalker's going to go down, so that isn't too good for the Protoss bot there. It loses a lot of high-value units there. Feedback getting dropped by that High Templar on the Viper. A Disruptor going to be used to kill the Locust. However, that's an active mining zone. Well, not really active. There's actually no friendly probes to kill there, but still, doesn't feel great tossing Disruptors in your own mineral line. Looks like this fourth base will go down. Ender's still trying to hold on, but its supply, or the PerilousProtossBot's still trying to hold on, but Ender is just showing that it is one of these monster Zergs, taking the map, Zerging all over the place, spreading 12 creep tumors at a time, like it's a bot or something. Now we see this hatchery will be taken down, but I mean, Ender can lose this hatchery 10 times and it wouldn't be the end of the world for it. So, we're seeing... It seems to be in Protoss bots where they're picking up the play from Protoss almost, that you can't just sit back against a Zerg. You'll just be torn to pieces, and that's happening to bots. It's happened to the PerilousProtossBot as it would happen to players. But programming the lethality that actual Protoss players or Protoss pros have is just it's very difficult. We see Ender up to 213 supplies. It did that Spore Crawler trick. This hatchery does get dealt with, and the PPB is building up to quite a significant Protoss army at this point, despite only being on, 3 bases, barely that. Not even that, as the main's completely mined out. The natural's being worked on, so this third has to stay alive. We see the Zerg coming forward now, but good feedback's going down. Looks like a neural parasite gets utilized. Fungal growth, blinding cloud, beautiful spells from Ender, actually. I was thinking that this could be a good fight here for the PerilousProtossBot, but it's actually not going as well as I thought it may have. Those spells were just great. We see a recall randomly getting used into the natural base or main base or to that Nexus that just died. I have no idea. Anyway, the third is now gone for the PerilousProtossBot. Ender, I imagine, maybe trying to take that at some point. The PPB does not have the resources to rebuild that. And like a good Zerg, Ender has prevented the Protoss bot from building up too much. Its trades haven't been amazing, even though it's got these Locusts, but it's been enough of a trade that off its bigger economy, it has, I think it's safe to say, won this game, as probes are just getting massacred as they transition or try and mine at this third base location. We see Ender building 57 Spore Crawlers at a time, canceling them and going up to 218 supply. Now, isn't that something? The fact that the bot author's like, yes, do this. This is what I want. I guess that's quite a lot of resources lost doing that, but it's got higher than the supply. Not an easy trick to do. You really need a lull in the game, which we don't get as much in Legacy of the Void if you're going to do the Spore Crawler trick to get extra supply as a Zerg. But, well done by Ender for doing that. I wonder how much supply it can possibly get up to. As, yeah, Fungal's going down. That's not too good. That Colossus standing strong for now, but I don't know. It might actually die too. This Fungal looks like it gets recalled into the main base or to the natural or something, but there's still Corruptors in the main that really have got some damage done this game. The Immortals are still doing well on the ground, but as the mining is basically all but gone, the PerilousProtossBot's in a real rough spot. It's now got the one base left. Ender looking to close this one out and in great fashion, as it's just utilized the Swarm Host. It did lose the few to that pathing bug, and I guess it has bled off a few more as this game's gone on, but it's still in a pretty darn good spot. as the PerilousProtossBot is kind of just sitting in his main base at this point. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this one, oh my gosh, Ender's building 64 spore crawlers, going up to 229 supply. That's just redonkulous. So that's amazing by Ender. The fact that the bot author programmed that, every little edge you can get, it makes sense. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel as these immortals go down. Hit that bell icon to get notified whenever I put up a new video. Battery overcharge, good, but unfortunately it runs out for Protoss eventually. And that cannon will not last any longer. And yeah, consider becoming a YouTube member if you do want to support the channel. Join the Discord, that's linked down below. I believe that's the whole blurb. And I shall see you guys for the next one, as Ender does take the third. It hasn't retaken this base. I wonder why that is. But now it's just creeping all over the place. Ender just charging on in. There is one extractor left.